Welcome to our deep dive into the world of inner excellence. Um, you know how we're always trying to optimize our lives?
Yeah.
Well, this book by performance coach Jim Murphy, who's worked with everyone from PGA Tour winners to Olympians, dives into how to train your mind like a pro.
Okay.
I'm so curious to hear your thoughts as we uncover some of these insights.
Yeah, it's fascinating how Murphy applies these principles used to train elite athletes to everyday life.
Yeah.
It's not about winning trophies. It's about living a more fulfilling, joyful life, no matter what your field is.
Okay, so right off the bat, one of the most intriguing ideas is that the heart is key to extraordinary performance. Not just willpower or discipline, but the heart.
All right.
Murphy even says, and I quote, "In a world of constant comparison and endless noise, it's not surprising we're caught up in our heads, struggling to live and perform fully engaged, heart, mind, and body." Now, have you ever felt that disconnect yourself,
Oh, absolutely.
where your head and heart aren't quite on the same page?
And I think many people can relate to that feeling of being stuck in their heads,
Yeah.
overthinking, maybe even to feeling disconnected from what truly matters.
Yeah.
Murphy is suggesting that true excellence comes from aligning your actions with your deepest values, passions, and purpose.
I see. So it's about tapping into that inner compass, that sense of authenticity. But tell me, how does Murphy suggest we bridge that gap between our heads and our hearts?
Well, he introduces a really interesting concept called the power trio: love, wisdom, and courage.
Okay.
He argues that these timeless virtues are actually incredibly relevant to modern challenges, and they form the foundation of inner excellence.
Love, wisdom, and courage, huh? That sounds almost like a recipe for a fulfilling life rather than just achieving external goals.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's not just about hitting targets or winning accolades.
Right.
It's about cultivating a life that feels truly meaningful. And Murphy believes these three principles are essential for that journey.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more about this power trio. How does Murphy break down each principle? What makes them so crucial in today's world?
Well, starting with love,
Okay.
Murphy isn't simply talking about romantic love. He's talking about a deeper form of love that encompasses self-love, compassion for others, and a genuine connection to something larger than yourself.
So it's about cultivating a sense of connection and purpose both within ourselves and in our relationships with others.
Precisely. It's about shifting from a mindset of scarcity and competition to one of abundance and collaboration. This shift in perspective, according to Murphy, can have a profound impact on both our personal well-being and our external achievements.
This is making me think about how often we get caught up in comparison and self-doubt.
Yeah.
It's almost like we forget to tap into that wellspring of love and connection that can fuel our actions.
That's a great observation, and I think that's what makes this concept of inner excellence so powerful. It's about recognizing and harnessing the immense power within ourselves, and love plays a pivotal role in that process.
So we've talked about love, but what about wisdom?
Okay,
How
that's
does
good.
this fit into this power trio?
Murphy defines wisdom as seeing with the heart, which might sound a bit poetic, but it essentially means developing a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It's about seeing the bigger picture, connecting the dots, and making choices that are aligned with our values and long-term goals.
I like that, seeing with the heart. It suggests a more holistic approach to wisdom, not just intellectual knowledge, but also emotional intelligence and intuitive understanding.
Exactly. And Murphy provides practical exercises for cultivating this kind of wisdom, such as journaling, mindfulness practices, and even just taking the time to reflect on your experiences and learn from your mistakes. He emphasizes the importance of slowing down, paying attention, and developing a deeper awareness of our inner and outer worlds.
That's so important in today's fast-paced world. We're constantly bombarded with information and distractions. It's easy to lose sight of what truly matters and to operate on autopilot.
You're absolutely right. And Murphy argues that when we cultivate wisdom, we become more conscious of our choices and their consequences. We start to see things from different perspectives and make decisions that are aligned with our values and long-term goals.
I'm starting to see how this power trio is interconnected. Each principle seems to build upon the other, creating a framework for a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
So we've covered love and wisdom, but what about courage?
Okay.
That seems like a particularly challenging virtue to cultivate. How does Murphy approach that?
He tackles it head on.
Okay.
Murphy acknowledges that fear is a natural human emotion,
Yeah.
but he also recognizes that it often holds us back from pursuing our dreams and living fully.
Right.
He believes courage isn't about being fearless, but rather about acting in spite of fear.
So it's about pushing past those limitations, those voices of self-doubt that can keep us stuck.
Precisely. He even quotes Nelson Mandela, who said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear."
It's a powerful quote.
hmm
It reframes courage as a process, a journey of overcoming those internal obstacles.
hmm
But how does Murphy suggest we conquer our fears? Is it just a matter of willpower, or are there specific tools or techniques we can utilize?
Well, he offers a framework for understanding and overcoming fear.
Okay.
And one of the key tools he introduces is cognitive reframing.
Cognitive reframing. What exactly is that, and how does it relate to courage?
It's essentially about changing the way you think about a situation. Instead of seeing a challenge as a threat, you reframe it as an opportunity for growth.
So, for example, if you're nervous about public speaking,
Right.
you might reframe it as a chance to connect with people and share your ideals.
Exactly. It's about shifting your perspective from, "I'm going to mess this up," to, "This is a chance to learn and grow."
That's a really powerful shift in mindset.
Hmm.
And I imagine it can apply to all sorts of fears and challenges we face in life, not just public speaking.
Absolutely. Whether it's asking someone out on a date, negotiating a raise, or even just speaking up for yourself. Cognitive reframing can help you approach those situations with more confidence and courage.
This is reminding me of something Murphy said earlier about the pursuit of extraordinary performance and the pursuit of the best possible life are the same path. It seems like these tools and techniques he's talking about aren't just for achieving external success, but also for becoming the best versions of ourselves.
You've hit the nail on the head. Inner excellence isn't just about reaching a specific goal. It's about cultivating a mindset and a way of being that allows you to thrive in all areas of life.
And that brings us back to the heart of it all, the power trio. We've talked about love, wisdom, and courage, but how does Murphy suggest we actually cultivate these principles? Does he offer any practical exercises or techniques?
He does. And this is where things get really interesting. Murphy provides a toolbox of techniques, from visualization to affirmations to goal-setting strategies. He even includes worksheets and templates that you can use to personalize the process.
So it's not just a theoretical framework.
Yeah.
He gives you concrete tools to apply these principles in your own life.
Exactly. He's essentially providing a step-by-step guide to training your mind for excellence, much like an athlete trains their body for peak performance.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about real-world application? How has inner excellence actually impacted people's lives?
Well, Murphy shares several inspiring stories throughout the book. One that really resonated with me was about a PGA Tour caddy named Brandon Parsons.
Oh, yes, I remember reading about him. Didn't he credit the book with transforming his life, both on and off the golf course?
Yes. He said the book made him a better father and husband, and he even called it a masterpiece. It's a powerful testament to the idea that inner excellence isn't just about achieving external success, but also about cultivating a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment in all areas of life.
It's fascinating how someone in a high-pressure competitive environment like professional golf found such profound personal growth through these principles. But isn't that kind of counterintuitive? You'd think someone in that world would be focused solely on winning, on beating the competition.
That's where Murphy's concept of selfless actualization comes in. He actually argues that focusing on helping others and finding deeper fulfillment can lead to greater personal success.
So it's not about putting yourself first, but rather about finding a way to contribute and make a positive impact.
Precisely. And what's interesting is that Murphy provides a framework for understanding how this principle works both psychologically and even spiritually. He's suggesting that when we shift our focus from "what's in it for me" to "how can I contribute and make a positive impact," we tap into a deeper well of motivation and resilience.
It reminds me of that saying, the more you give, the more you get. But Murphy is going deeper than that, isn't he? He's suggesting that this shift in focus can actually lead to greater personal fulfillment and even success.
Absolutely. He even argues that many of the most successful people in the world are driven by a deep sense of purpose that goes beyond personal gain. They're not just focused on winning, they're focused on making a difference.
This is making me think about how we often define success in terms of external achievements like money, fame, or recognition. But what if true success is more about aligning our actions with our values and finding a way to contribute to something larger than ourselves?
That's a profound question, and I think it's at the heart of what Murphy is trying to convey in Inner Excellence. He's challenging us to redefine our understanding of success and to consider the possibility that true fulfillment comes from living a life of purpose and service.
So instead of asking, how can I get ahead, we might ask, how can I make a difference?
Exactly. It's a subtle shift in perspective, but it can have a profound impact on our choices and actions.
It seems like what we're really talking about here is a shift from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance. Instead of believing that there's not enough to go around, we start to see the world as a place where we can all contribute and thrive.
I think you've perfectly captured the essence of what Murphy is trying to teach us. It's not about competing with others or striving for some external measure of success. It's about finding our unique place in the world and contributing our talents and passions to something larger than ourselves.
This conversation is really making me rethink my own definition of success.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how these principles of love, wisdom, and courage, along with this idea of selfless actualization, can create a powerful framework for living a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
That's exactly what Murphy hopes to achieve with this book, to empower individuals to tap into their inner potential and create lives of purpose, joy, and yes, excellence.
It's amazing, isn't it? We spend so much time focusing on, external achievements,
Yeah.
but we often neglect the most important element,
Yeah.
our own minds.
Yeah, it's true. We go to the gym, we eat healthy.
Right.
How often do we dedicate time to training our minds?
Yeah,
It's almost like we forget that our minds are the engines driving everything we do.
right. And just like any engine, our minds need regular maintenance and fine-tuning
Mm-hmm.
to perform at their best. Murphy seems to be suggesting that mental fitness is just as important as physical fitness.
Absolutely. And just like physical training,
Yeah.
mental training requires discipline and effort.
Uh,
It's not a quick fix. It's an ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I have to ask,
Mm.
if you could choose one principle from inner excellence
Mm.
to focus on, which would it be?
Mm.
And how would you apply it to your own life?
That's a tough one. But if I had to choose, I'd focus on cultivating wisdom,
Okay.
that idea of seeing with the heart.
Yeah.
It's about taking the time to reflect,
Mm.
to connect the dots,
Right.
and to make choices aligned with my values. I think that would have a ripple effect on all areas of my life.
I love that. And for me, I'd probably focus on courage.
Yeah.
I'm often held back by fear and self-doubt.
Yeah.
So I think practicing cognitive reframing and stepping outside my comfort zone would be incredibly empowering.
It sounds like we both have some mental training to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's what's so exciting about this concept of inner excellence. It's a journey we can all embark on, regardless of our starting point.
Exactly. And it's not about perfection.
Right.
It's about progress.
Right.
It's about taking small steps each day to cultivate these principles and to become the best versions of ourselves.
And who knows what we might achieve along the way.
Exactly.
Remember, as Murphy says, the pursuit of extraordinary performance and the pursuit of the best possible life are the same path.
That's a powerful reminder.
Yeah.
So to our listeners out there, we encourage you to consider which principle from inner excellence resonates most with you.
Mm-hmm.
Which one, if cultivated, could have the biggest impact on your life?
And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. Take it one step at a time and enjoy the process of uncovering your own inner excellence.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of mental performance and personal growth. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and are inspired to train your mind like a pro.